Hey everybody, this is Joe Payne, your friendly municipal music instructor here with the Santa Maria Recreation and Parks Department to show you another music lesson. This time some basic rhythm with our cajon drum. So this is a box drum. That's cajon is Spanish for box. And so, you know, we have, of course, the sides, the wooden sides. You get one sound here, you get another up here. And then the front is a lot of fun because this imitates a snare drum. You can hear it has a rattle. And even if you hit it right in the middle and you hold it down, you can have a low bass sound, right? So let's talk about some basic rhythm ideas. Rhythm comes from a Greek word which the root means to flow. And so rhythm is just how do pulses flow through time, right? How do we decide to chop up time? And rhythm starts with this basic idea of subdivision by two. So we start with, if you can see these notes behind me, we're going to learn 4 types of notes today, which written notation doesn't have to be on all those lines for us to play rhythm. We could just look at, you know, one line of notes going one after the other to understand rhythm. So we have a whole note, half note, quarter note, and the eighth note. Okay, so you probably already got it. If you're a math whiz, you probably already understand. A whole note looks like this. It's a big see-through note, sits there all alone. It doesn't have a stem or anything, and that's worth 4 beats in 4/4 time, which is called common time. Just 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. That's counting 4 over and over. Okay, that's called a time signature. So whole notes, if we were just to play whole notes in 4/4 time, it would sound like this. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2. That whole note gets all 4 beats to itself. Okay. Now, what happens if you chop that in half? If you take a whole note and you cut it down the middle, you're going to get 2 half notes. These notes are see-through, the round part of the note, and they have a stem, okay? That's a half note, okay? So there's 2 beats in each half note. So whereas a whole note, you hit it once for all 4 beats, a half note would be 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. With a cajon drum, or you can just drum this on your legs, on your head, whatever you want to do. But you can start adding both hands. You can go 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, right? Makes sense, pretty easy. Now, what happens when you cut those 2 halves in half? You're going to have 4 quarters, okay? One, or, you know, as a fraction, 1 over 4. So we call these quarter notes. They look like a half note, except now the note is shaded in and you have the stem, right? So that, if we were to play that with one hand after another like this, it'd be 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Pretty simple, right? Now, let's say if we just did 1 2 3 4 with one hand. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3. Again, whole notes. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Half note. 1 2 3 4, 1. Quarter notes are 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. You see that? So you have the same amount of time, but it's how many pulses, how many beats in the rhythm do you put in there, okay? Now we get to the 8th note. This is where it starts getting interesting because we introduce the offbeat, okay? Now, every time we've played a rhythm so far, we've been on the beat, meaning when I say a number, we have a beat. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Well, we can subdivide in between those numbers, in between those beats. And that's what 8th notes are for. So 8th notes cut a quarter note in half. They're shaded in, they have a stem, but they also have the little flag that hangs off the end. You've probably seen that. You know, people like to, when they draw music notes, they like to have the little curly flag, or if 2 8th notes are next to each other, they're connected. That's where you see the 2 notes connected up top. They're 2 stems. Now, you have your quarter notes, 1 2 3 4. The 8th notes, the offbeat, are going to be between those, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this is very common when we learn guitar. The up strum is the offbeat. So you kind of see me tilting my head back on that. 1 and 2 kind of helps. It's a kind of a physical way to feel the rhythm. If you go down on the beat, 1 and, you're coming up on the offbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? Quarter notes, 1, 2, 3. Then the eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So right there, you can, and this is another important principle in rhythm, is you always want to have your rhythm steady. So I'm not a professional drummer. I play a lot of instruments, but I'm not a drummer. But I have dabbled with it. But a common thing you do when drumming is you keep a steady rhythm, or a semi-steady rhythm. Often with a drummer, this is with the hi-hat, and then you use your left hand to play in between rhythms that can sound, you know, unpredictable, or just they're in between. They're on the offbeats. So check this out. Here's quarter notes with my right hand, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm gonna add eighth notes. And 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You see that? So that's a basic way to start playing rhythms, subdividing, and using both your hands. Let your right hand or your dominant hand, whichever you want to do, take the steady rhythm, start with quarter notes. You could even do half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and make it quarter notes. 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Add your left hand in on those eighth notes, on the ands of the beat, okay? That's called the offbeat. So, again, we learned whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, and then the eighth note, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Very good. So, enjoy that, have fun with that, and again, you don't have to have a nice fancy cajon drum like we have here for kids to play, and they will be here for kids to play when the shelter in place is ended. But you could do this with anything at home, pots and pans. Sorry, it might bug your parents. You could do it, like I said, on your knees, on your chest, on your head if you want. Have fun, be safe, and enjoy it, and practice your instrument. Have a good one.